Hey, what's up guys? This is Kenny from Pieces of the Ocean, and today we're going to talk about this tank behind me here.
Pieces of the Ocean.
So as you know, we used to have another tank next to my desk. It was a beautiful tank, and we had a little bit of issue with that tank. One of the main issue was actually that, as you know, we were doing a reef moonshiner on that system. And one day ICP test came back and we had elevated cobalt. And we couldn't figure out why. So we stopped dosing altogether. We did 100% water change. It came down, but it went back up. So we thought maybe something in the tank. We investigated it. We took apart the pumps. We couldn't find any culprit. So your normal cobalt level should be like 0.2 to like 1, but ICP came back with 36, okay? And we started noticing bleaching in the corals. So we took the corals out and we decided, you know what? Since that tank was probably like 15 to 20 years old, it's one of the first tank that I had. So we decided to just swap out the entire system, and which brings us to this tank behind us. So we got the Mariner, E-Shot Mariner, 130 gallon display tank. The system volume is about 158. And we also went a little higher to give us that extra volume, which allows us to place fracs, have more flexibility and space in terms of placing the corals. So the purpose of the video, in addition to just introducing you guys to this tank, is to tell you how we are able to add corals to this in like 2 to 3 weeks of just filling the tank, right? This tank is about a month and a half to 2 months. And we are starting to see growth, starting to see the coral laying down the base and the colors retaining, if not keep coloring up nicely in here. So we thought it'd be a great talk about how we were just able to do this so fast. So I think there's a couple of key ingredients in this. Planning ahead is important, figuring out what we wanted to do. So before we even started to do work on breaking down the old tank, we got a bunch of live rock. All right, so right from the get-go, we decided that we were definitely not going to use any sort of dry rock. We're going to use live rock, specifically live rock from different sources as well. So we brought in live rock from Indonesia, and we brought in live rock from Australia. And then we also brought in live rock that has been in the other system in the store for a long time. And we just kind of cooked them together. And we did that for about a month to 2 months, probably more than that too. We also, in the live rock bin, we added a power head, we added a heater, make sure that it's well circulated. No light, we cut off the light. And we did weekly water change, almost like 100% water change on the live rock bin to make sure that we had some nice clean live rock going into this tank. So all the rocks that you see here have been in that live rock bin for at least 2 months, okay? And then another thing that we made sure that we wanted to start with was to saturate the water with Kalkwasser right from the beginning, even before we added any sort of livestock. Before we added fish, before we added anything, we started dripping Kalkwasser in the system. So right here we have a cow stirrer, okay? So that cow stirrer gets pulled in by a Skimmer pump. The Skimmer pump pulls water from an RO container. So this container holds RO that this pump pulls in from, pushes it into the cow stirrer, and then it drips the cow into the tank and uses it primarily as a top off. I did not really calculate the drip rate to go with the evaporation rate. I just kind of eye it, like you basically look at it and see what makes sense, because evaporation rate varies in the store greatly. But if it's too little, the auto top off replenishes. If too much, you see the level goes up, then you just drop it down. If it starts to fill up, then you're dripping too much calc. Then you just drop it down. And once you find that middle ground, then you're good, right? And yeah, there's a Refugium here. It's pretty grimy here, as you can see, pretty nasty. But if you look at the tank is perfectly clean. So that's a well-balanced system that you have here, where you want the algae to grow in the Refugium and not in the tank. But you don't want an algae-free system. An algae-free system is a starved system. It's not a healthy system. So you just want it to be balanced. You don't want it to be too extreme of one over the other, right? Second thing I want to point out is the sump that came with the system has socks in it. We pulled the socks out. The reason for that is I felt that, especially for a new system, there's nothing really to filter out. So I want to allow bioactivity to circulate throughout the entire system. And we want to have an equilibrium in terms of biofilm coating the surfaces of the tank. In addition to the rock, I wanted to coat the sump, want the biofilm to coat the surfaces of the pipes evenly to just get the whole process going faster so that the water parameters can fall into a balance. And once you hit the balance, that's when you're able to add corals, right? As you know, I'm not a big fan of socks. So by putting it from the beginning, one, I don't have to clean it that often. And secondly, it really allows the tank to just like marinate, you know, and get all from the lime rock, allow everything to spread throughout the system and basically just coat the surfaces. Once the tank had been running for, I would say about almost a week, we started adding fish into the system. And as you know, I've always been a fan of having a lot of fish. I believe that having a healthy population of fish provides, you know, healthy nutrient in the water for the corals. So that's in preparation for when I put in the corals. We were confident that the fish would do well just because we had established lime rock in the system. So we looked at it as if we basically did 100% water change in the system and then retained all the surfaces, right? So we added fish a week in, and then as we started to feed the fish, we added the refugium. So around the same time we added fish, we added refugium just to kind of help counterbalance the phosphate issue, okay? So the fish that we add here is not by random, all right? So particularly the tanks, you want the zebrasoma tanks. The zebrasoma tanks are great utilitarian fish that pick at algae. You want a copper band, and then a copper band, it just helps with aptasia because no matter how careful you are, aptasia will eventually get into the system. If you culture Bergias, you're gonna see that some of the aptasia can be the size of like pinheads that you wouldn't be able to see. Or even if just like a filament of the aptasia get into the water, it will grow itself into an aptasia. So just having a copper band in the beginning is great. And it's also because they're very peaceful fish. You don't want to add it later after you added all the aggressive tanks, and you're not going to be able to add a butterfly. And then as the algae start to show up on the rocks, I added cleanup with like snails and whatnot, okay? So until then, you know, we weren't running that much light in the beginning until we added corals. So until the corals came, there was no light in the system. Well, actually, we did have light, but just very low, like blue, very like subdued blue light on the system. So about 2 weeks time, that's when we added our first coral. We specifically chose to add the digi, because digi is kind of like, if it's happy, it will continue to grow. It reacts so fast to the environment, it gives an idea how well the water is in the system. So we added the digi, we added a bird's nest, right? We added these very easy and beginner-friendly corals in there. And we slowly cranked up the light, you know? Which brings me to the next point is, why do we go with radions when there are so many options out there? So the reason why we went with radions, one is, well, we want to go with something that's obviously trusted and proven, and the radion has proven itself to be a good light to grow corals. Like the majority of SPS that we sell, that we feature, are all grown under radions. And secondly, we don't want to reinvent this space here. I think radion fits perfectly within the space that we have and gives us a lot of flexibility in how we want to configure the schedule and the program and the coverage, the spread. And I understand there's some challenges with the software, but at the end of the day, right, I think it's all about the corals, okay? It's not about us. We are here to grow corals. And if the equipment that we use serve the corals well, that's enough for us, right? And I think radion is a great light in terms of growing corals and coloring up corals, as you can see. And we felt that we are very comfortable with the software, and the certain quirks that comes with, we're able to kind of fix and resolve fairly quickly. And one of the luxury of being in the store is that we always have someone here 7 days a week. So if there's any issue, we can catch it right away. Compared to a hobbyist at home, obviously you got to think a little bit about when you're on vacation and when you're away from home. When you're absent for a longer period of time, something happens with the light, you need immediate resolution, whereas here we don't have that issue. So mainly is the ability for the light to grow and color up corals, and that's the most important for us, and it does its job quite well. So I think that's one of the reasons why we decided to go with radions. And for the schedule, It's the same schedule as the growth tank over there, or the SPS2 system, which has the schedule available for download on our website. If you guys have any question or about the lighting schedule, you can definitely download it from our website on PiecesOfTheOcean.com under the About Us tab. Now that the lights are on, about 2 weeks to 3 weeks time, diatoms start to show up. And then as soon as it peaked its head, we added the UV, because we know that the diatom, they usually get blown into the water column once the light goes out in the dark. During the day, they attach to substrate. So to use the UV more efficiently, I have it on a timer to turn on only during the day. Oh, I'm sorry, only turn on only during the night and off during the daytime. So we can ensure that they pass through the UV. So literally within, I would say, 2 days, and then that's completely gone from the rocks. In the beginning, we only had 2 MP40s on the system. That's because we didn't have any corals, but as we added more corals, we added 2 Jable SOFW20. Those are great pumps. They are inexpensive and they are powerful. So that's why we decided to go with those 2. And the way it works here is they actually alternate. So one side, the left side, turn on for 5 minutes while the right side is off, and then the right side will turn on and the left side turns off. And the reason for that is allows strong flow, but without a constant one directional flow, right? You want it to be random. So you hit it like 5 minutes going like this, 5 minutes going this way. And as they collide, it creates that random flow for the corals. So that's the flow. So we have flow, we have the lights, we have the filtration, the skimmer. It's a Bubble King Mini, a very old skimmer that we utilized from the last tank. And actually, that's the only one piece of equipment that we use from the last tank. The alkalinity right now is about 8.5 now, and nothing has changed. So it's going to gradually come down as corals start to take up consumption. And as you can see, we have a calcium reactor sitting here already. It's not running yet, but as soon as the tank tells us gives us that signal that, oh, I need more, then we're going to hook that up and start running the calcium reactor to supplement additional calcium and alkalinity into the system. So it's important to test the system regularly, especially in the beginning of the life cycle of the system, to make sure how it's doing. And in keeping the tank, maintenance tank system, even though this is next to my desk, I'm not always in front of it, next to it, so I also don't want to constantly worry about feeding the tank. But you know that, you guys know, if you talk to me, I'm a proponent of feeding the tank well. So I also have an auto feeder here, and there's another auto feeder coming in from AVS Marine, the plank auto feeder, which I love. It makes sure that the dry food actually is not floating on the surface of the water. So check that out. That should be here next week, and I'm gonna put that on. And the idea is that the least amount of maintenance required from my part, from anybody's part, would be great, right? Just do the weekly water change, and then test the water, make sure everything is on point, and that's pretty much it for the system. Nothing crazy, nothing too crazy here. All right, to summarize, right? We're able to add coral to this system after about 2 weeks of adding water, and then the main key ingredients of that success is due to, 1, planning ahead, having healthy, clean live rock. When you cook the live rock, make sure there's no light. Keep a circulation in there, have a heater, do water change every week, 100% if you can. And then have good lighting. You know, make sure the content of the water is adequate for corals. Meaning we saturate the water with Kalkwasser, meaning we added a healthy population of fish to create the nutrient-rich environment for our corals. And then have adequate filtration, having a UV to combat diatom. As you can see, we actually bypass the entire ugly face of every new tank, right? Yeah, we're gonna try to keep this tank clean and simple, just like we run the other grow tank, and we are not actually gonna do anything special to it. We're not gonna dose anything. We're not gonna do any specific program or system on the tank. We're just gonna rely on water change. And you know, hopefully we can give you guys an update in about 6 months and see how this tank's doing. All right, and make sure you follow us on YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok, and check out auction on reefandbit.com. And thank you for watching.